believers and make-believers. So I have just shot this entire video, and then somehow in the transference of this video to the computer, I lost the first file. I did not notice this, of course, until after I took off the makeup, so excuse the face. And after I sat down, had some food, came back to edit, and was like, where's the file? So I'm gonna try to do this without constantly grunting that I've already done this. Luckily, it's just the beginning part, which I think was pretty short because it's a book that is the third, so I didn't give much information about it. But yes, let's begin again. So in today's video, I am doing the books that I munched in May and in June. In May, I managed to get through 3 delicious books, one being nonfiction, which I'm trying to include a little bit more into my reading habits, and 2 being the fiction, one being the indie pick of the month, and 1 being a, mass-produced, everybody loves book. So the first book that I read in May, which was also the mass-produced book, is Half Lost by Sally Green. This is the 3rd and final in the Half Bad trilogy, which is a trilogy that I absolutely love, and I think that Sally Green is possibly the best, or definitely one of the best first-person narrator writers that I've ever read. She really makes you feel like you are the character, that you are experiencing everything that they are experiencing. It's like the way that you normally think, they are thinking, and you are just this character diving into it. The Half Bad trilogy is about a witch called Nathan. It's a world of witches, and basically there's black witches and white witches, and they're rivals, but Nathan is a half-breed, which means that he is both black and white witch, and he doesn't know which side of him he wants to do more, and basically it follows his life on an adventure. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars simply because I personally did not like the ending. It's a good ending, the story wraps up fine, and it's captivating, everything's amazing, just like the first 2 books in the series. However, it's just for me, I felt like a different ending would have served the series better. I feel like what happened was nice. But not great, it was nice, it's nice. But it wasn't, considering that the series was so fantastic and so epic and so fast moving and so boom, 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 I really thought that we were gonna get a bit more of a really big, amazing, clarifying, I don't know, it was clarifying, but I don't know, I thought we were gonna get something different. I'm sure that lots of people do like this ending, but my personal preference would have been something else, so that was the only reason why I'm taking off a 0.5 star. But the book itself is fantastic, the adventure is amazing, but of course I'm not going to tell you too much about it because of spoilers. The second book that I read in May is my fiction book of the month, and that was If at Birth You Don't Succeed by Zach Anner. I actually read this over a few weeks, so I think I actually started it in April, but then continued it into May because I like to read this in the morning because it was a fun way to start the day. It is by Zach Anner. He has cerebral palsy, and he basically is an entertainer who introduces people who are not contained or confined in wheelchairs to what life is like in a wheelchair, and just have people look and see the person before they see the chair, or before they see the cane, or before they see the brace, or before they see whatever. So anyways, it's basically a story of his life. It's very funny, witty, entertaining, moving, and of course gives some thought-provoking situations and scenarios where you're just like, I wonder how I would be in that situation, and some things happen to him which are hilarious, but also like, you're just like, oh my goodness, this guy is probably the strongest guy in the world because I don't know what I would do in that situation. It's really, I don't think this was intention, but for me it really showed me like friendship being very important, because he has some great, amazing, supportive friends that help him get through some difficult challenges being confined to a wheelchair and just basically getting on in his life. And I love it, I really enjoyed it. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I highly recommend this. He also does videos on YouTube, and I'm sure some other places as well, and he has a nice Instagram page, so I highly advise you to go and check that out as well. The third book that I read in May was my indie pick of the month. and that was #Fairytale Dad by Lauren MLM, and she is a fellow Swoon Reads author, so her book is also available on Swoon Reads for free. So if you haven't read it yet, go and check it out, because basically right now the editors of Macmillan, or of Swoon Reads, who are imprint of Macmillan, are looking at the books right now, and obviously those, I believe, those in the top ranks will be looked at first and have, you know, obviously a higher shot of being noticed because they're in the top. So I believe that #Fairytale Dad is currently at number 6 in trending books, and I think it's at number 8 or 9 or so in most rated or highest rated books. So it's a good contender. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a charming family story. It is a standalone. It's about a girl looking for her real dad because her mother gets artificially inseminated and so doesn't know who the father is, obviously. But this girl grows up and she's just curious, and basically, you know, obviously things happen where she ends up finding out who her father is, and also that he, you know, has some pretty intriguing qualities of his own. He's also very well off, and she ends up getting involved in his company, and of course he doesn't know who she is, and it's a nice fun adventure. There's highs, there's lows. It shows the beautiful bonds of family and friendship and the importance of just being supportive. It's a contemporary read, and I highly recommend it to anyone that enjoys those kind of fun, feel-good family books. And now we move on to the books that I read in June. Transition. Hi dreamers, and no, I'm kidding. But let's begin with the books that I read in June, and as I've said, I only read 2 books in June, and then the third book that I read was a mindfulness coloring book, which I didn't read, but I just enjoyed a few, like maybe 10-15 minutes every day, just sitting down, doing some coloring. I'm on a quest of the Enchanted Forest. I am nowhere near finished, but it's a really nice way to spend the time, and kind of does the same thing to your brain as reading, when you just want to unwind and relax. And I started doing it mostly at the beginning of the day. I will show you my progress when I actually feel like I've made some significant progress. At the moment, I am still on the first picture. It is ridiculous how many things are in this one giant image. You could color for 50 minutes and you look at it and you're like, I've colored a centipede. Okay, it's not that bad, but it's close to being that bad. At least for me. Maybe I'm just ridiculously slow. So anyways, one of the books that I read in June was the beast of the book that took up the space of 2 books, so I only read the 1 book, and that was Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I've done it again. What is wrong with me? Let's try that again. That is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, and it is the spin-off of the Throne of Glass series. It is Chaol's story, because I think I did mention before in another video that basically Chaol is a very important character in the Throne of Glass series. He is my favorite character in the Throne of Glass series, and then he kind of fades away from the Throne of Glass series, hence why I do not love the Throne of Glass series as much as I did. However, Sarah J. Maas, probably sensing everyone's love for Chaol and upset when he vanished, made this beautiful long tale of what Chaol gets up to when he ends up being kind of, he goes on, like, there's a whole big war going on and everyone's going to separate places, and basically we don't see where Chaol goes. We know where Chaol goes, but this now shows us what Chaol gets up to when he goes to where he goes. It is great. I really thoroughly enjoy this book, and like I said, it is huge. I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to finish it within the month of June, but I was just like, I want to read it, and I'm going to try my best. I read it so quickly. I mean, okay, not as quick as I'm sure many of you could read it, but for me, like, I read it in 2.5 weeks, whereas you know, there was a time that this many pages might have taken me the entire month. I really, like, I have Iron Gold sitting on my shelf, along with this one, along with Game of Thrones, along with so many long books that I'm just like, you know what, I really want to read them, but it's going to take me so long. There's so many other shorter books that I can get through first, but I think I did mention this as well in my last video, that now I'm just up to long books on my shelf, so I really like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be reading many books this year. I'm going to be reading a lot of pages, but not many books, because there's so many pages in one book. However, I managed to read this one quite quickly, so I am having high hopes for Iron Gold. I don't know when I'm going to start Iron Gold, but I do have high hopes that I will not take forever to read it. And the second and final book, or rather, actually it was the first book I read, because I read that one first because it was shorter, and then I ended with Tower of Dawn. But yes, the second book that I read in June was my indie pickup of the month. Woo! It feels strange having this twice in a video, but there you go. And that book was Supernatural Academy by Jamin Eve. It follows the life of Madison James, who discovers that she is a supernatural, basically someone with supernatural abilities, but she doesn't know what those abilities are, and she goes to a supernatural academy where there are many other people with these supernatural abilities. There are vampires, shifters, witches, wizards, all of those things, but they just call them supes, and basically she has to learn about magic and how to handle magic, and also try to figure out what her particular brand of magic is. There is a handsome guy, well, there's many handsome guys, and basically they have some kind of intricate, cool connection, possibly, maybe, trying not to give spoilers. And it basically shows her things about her past that she didn't know, and shows her that perhaps she's not who she thinks she is. It is a fun read with a few twists and turns, and you're not entirely sure what's going to happen, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy this video, then please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you like all my other videos, then please subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!